Hello there everybody, this is Graham, I'm into Collector 75 and welcome back to another Transformers review. This is actually the first review I've actually done for quite a while actually, because like I've said before I just normally do a load of videos and then just upload them over a period of time. I can't actually remember when I made the last video, I think it was about 6 weeks ago. So I thought I'd just show you what I've been buying lately. I haven't actually bought a lot. I'm still waiting for a couple of the Crazy Debbie parts for Predaking to come. Mainly just the fists, and then I'm going to do that video. That's why I haven't actually uploaded it as yet. I was going to do it, and then I saw on their website that they had the fists and stuff, but hopefully they should be released soon, so I should have them, and then I'm going to do that video, because I think that should be the last part. What else have I got lately? Not a lot really. I did manage to pick up this at my local Toys R Us the other day, which is of course Human Alliance Jazz. If you're an American over there, of course, you got this quite a while ago, but they've just sort of like turned up in this country, so it's pretty good. I like that figure. Haven't actually transformed it yet, I'm going to though. I've seen a few videos on it, looks pretty good, so that's pretty cool. I might do a video on that one. Yes, and so the other one I picked up the other day was at my local Tesco's. So they're out now, along with that Skyhammer. I didn't actually get that. This is about the only Dark of the Moon figure I'm actually going to get, which is of course is Shockwave. I saw this guy and yeah, well, basically wanted it really. Yeah, this is about the only actual figure I'm going to get, mainly because they look shit and they're just too small, and that's it really. So apart from this guy, I've got Megatron and I've got Crankcase. There's a new Voyager Starscream out, it just looks like a miniature version of the Leader class Starscream. But I can't think really any other figures I want. I was thinking of getting the Leader class Sentinel Prime, but I'll only get that if I see that cheap now. Yeah, so that's about the only movie toy that I'm going to stick with now. It's the only one I wanted. I paid full price for it, but there we go. Anyway, so this is of course Dark of the Moon Shockwave. This is him in his take it or leave it tank mode. They usually give these sort of figures. He sort of like turns up mainly like the Fallen really in, is it Revenge of the Fallen in fact. Just basically you see this guy in the film, but he doesn't actually transform, so they just give him a mode. I would have preferred it to be some sort of like gun emplacement. I think that would have been a lot better rather than just a tank, because the main gun on top of course, it doesn't actually move at all. You can disconnect it because obviously it's still connected to his arm, and then give it some articulation, but as such it's not really got any articulation whatsoever really. Yeah, but it's got some great detailing around it. It does look like a Cybertronian tank, so I can just take that. That's pretty good. My only gripe is he's got these tracks on the bottom here, but as soon as you put it on the side you completely lose them, so it's a bit strange. And then these details here are just a bit crap really. This is where the feet are folded up. Yeah, a bit gutted that. But then again, I love the homage to the G1 Shockwave there with the old hose going around the side. It's supposed to connect somewhere here in the middle, but it can be a fucking pain in the arse just to get it in there. So yeah, and he does come with this strange weapon which just fits into that plug. It's just whatever you want to call that, a melee weapon, a sword, a gun, who knows, you can figure it out yourselves. Yeah, so he does have the usual mech tech gimmick, which I think is absolutely fucking pathetic on all these figures. You just push this and then the sort of like gun transforms, or whatever you want to call it, like that. And then if you push it forward enough it does clip in to stay in that position, but I can't be bothered. Yeah. Now then, I did see Dark of the Moon, and the first time I watched it I was like, oh dear, I thought what a pile of fucking shit that was. Good animation and whatever, but just the storyline, oh dear, that was awful. Really, really bad. I did watch it again in 3D and it grew on me a little bit, but on the whole I'm still pretty, oh I don't know, I'm not going to go into it because it was just bad. Anyway, a shame really, because I like the first one, I like the second one. Still, there we go. Right, so this is of course Shockwave in his tank mode. It's quite an easy transformation really. I've only ever transformed this guy once, and that was into this mode, so it shouldn't be too hard to get him back out of it. First of all, we're going to open out the arm, we're going to disconnect the hose out of there, and I am just going to disconnect the gun from his arm, because Now my luck, it will just get in the fucking way. It's going to come off now. There we go. Just going to put that down there. So that's one arm disconnected, and then we just take the other arm out from there. Then what we're going to do, we're going to disconnect this sort of like skeletal chest piece out of there, flip that forward. Then what are we going to do? This sort of front section wheel, whatever ramming the thing you want to call it, we're just going to sort of like disconnect that. It's sort of tabbed in there just at the front in there. So then we're going to rotate that around, and that reveals his head. It's still tucked away at the moment. This guy's got some great light piping. I don't think I'm going to be able to show it to you, which is a bit of a shame really, because it is well worth seeing. And this is probably one of the best Dark of the Moon figures there is, actually. I'm hoping they make a leader class version of it, because that will just be fucking brilliant, actually. Right, then we just sort of like disconnect these sections up here, and as you can see, these are the legs. They're going to fold out. Like so, just open them out a little bit. This section folds all the way up to the back, and then we're going to rotate the legs around like so. Do the legs now, that'll be easier. It's got a little heel spur in here. We're just going to flip that out on both sides like so, so you can see that. Come back around here, flip this whole section down. It does sort of tab in like that, and then his little knee guard you flip up. So here we go again. Get that out like that, flip it down, and then get his little knee section and flip that up. And that's his legs done. That's about the easiest bit. Alright, anyway, we're going to stick with this front section here. Make sure this, like I say, it's got this skeletal front. I'd prefer it if it had more like a G1-ish front rather than that, but there we go, it doesn't look too bad. Then we just rotate it up, because if I turn around to the back here, you can see it's on these two sort of like rotational pivot joints there. Rotate that one inwards 90 sort of degrees, like that. Then, as you can see, the posts, or so the holes that were on there, is going to connect now into this post. In there, I can't remember exactly how it bloody goes in there. There we go. Creating his chest, and I like the way they've got the tracks around the outside of it there. Looks okay. Just a shame about when he's actually in tank mode, these tracks here are completely then hidden. Right, anyway, so we get the arms down into position like so, and then it's just a case of getting this bloody head piece into position. Think this has to rotate all the way around like that. Yes, that's right. Then his head does something completely different. I can't remember what now. I think it just rotates around. Actually, no. So it's on a little joint. There it is. So we rotate that down, rotate his head around. These little funny bits come all the way up. That has a little sort of little hole in there. It's going to connect just onto this little tab in there. And then this little tab in here will connect into a tab in there, but if you can get it in there, you're luckier than I am, because my one doesn't seem to want to go into it too well. It does sort of, but it doesn't really want to fix in. Right, then you've got these sort of like section on his back. It's, as you can see, he's got this little tab just here and a little hole just up there, and it's supposed to sort of like close in around this whole wheel, sort of like false wheel section here. And as you can see, it's got another little hole thing there. That's supposed to spin round all the way down to the bottom, allowing you to connect the hose from his gun into that, but it doesn't really want to go in there too well. Anyway, so then we rotate all this down. These then wheels sort of like fold into that, and again they're supposed to connect into this main fucking wheel, but it's a pain in the arse to get them all both going in to where they're all supposed to bloody go. Because it's supposed to end up something like that, but mine doesn't really want to do it too well. It's a bit of a pain, but then again, with all these bloody bloody movie figures, whatever you want to call them, all the bloody same, they're all pain in the arse, and nothing just wants to line up just correctly. They're all too damn complex, they're all bloody good, which I do like, but at the same time I get annoyed with it. Anyway, right, so that is Shockwave in robot mode, as you can see. Now then, he does come packaged with the gun on this arm, but that reminds me too much of Megatron, and I'm sure the G1 is supposed to be on this arm. which is good because you can just so you can sort of like put it on this arm, but it doesn't want to go on there too well, unfortunately. That is a complete and utter shame. Right? Never mind. Right, so we're gonna put that back just around here. Like I say, it's got this little spinny joint on top, and that will go just in there like that. Like so. So then we're going to put this fella back on this joint, like so. Put his arm around here, unfold his little hand. Now then, like I say, it says to put the hose, this little one, in this little hole just in there like that. But then it gets in the way of all this sort of like grey sort of stuff. So I put it in the hole just on the back of his shoulder, which is just up there like that. And it looks more G1 reminiscent of a G1. Unfortunately, it does restrict his arm movement somehow. And the gun, oh no, sorry, that's his arm this time. It did fall off just now, and I didn't put it back on securely. It's a great homage to Shockwave. I don't think you're going to get any light piping. You might be able to see it just glowing in there. It does really a great job with the old light piping on that single eye. Great articulation. The hands are a little bit limited, and as well as the arms. But the legs have great articulation. He stands well. He looks fantastic. If I'm honest with you, he does look really, really good. Definitely worth picking up. I'm hoping they do a leader class version. That would be really good. Along with Megatron, I think those two actually do deserve a leader class, as long as they're better anyway. But yeah, do pick this guy up. He's definitely worth it. If you do get one toy, and he's fairly common, so you shouldn't have a trouble getting him. Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to do this figure because I wanted to do a Dark of the Moon figure toy review, and I couldn't think of a better figure to do, really. He's definitely worth picking up. Anyway, right, this has been Graham, Collector 75, and I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.